What's going on, everybody? Welcome to the Filsinger Games Character Spotlight with Mike and Broc.
Mike.
I'm Broc, and we're once again joined by our recurring guest host here, Jeff Manning, whoever that is.
Big time, Jeff Manning.
That's
Yep.
right, Mr. Big Time. Tonight, we're talking about Enigma. Whoa, that's way out of focus. There we go.
Woo.
And Monad, the unified force.
Yeah, Brian went a little heavy on that shading there.
Just a bit. He drew the highlights.
What's going on with his face? Does he have war paint or no eyes or
It's just shadows.
Just shadow.
shadow over the eyes?
Yeah. The light's coming from various angles.
Maybe he got
Just
four
focusing on the
eyelids.
head.
He got four eyelids and only two eyes in the Transvolver.
So we can start with Enigma.
This, I think, is one of the better Bendis drawings. I like it.
The Enigma character is kind of an enigma for me.
He is.
I didn't think he'd be good, but he's deceptively good.
This card's decent.
Yeah, it is. It really is. Yeah. Do you want me to read his bio, or are we doing that tonight?
We could do that.
All right, Enigma on his debut here. Team Masked Assassins, manager Darkos, main feud Stalker. Finisher is when an opponent fights Enigma, he better be on his guard every time he leaves the ring. When the opponent gets ready to try to get back in the ring, Enigma propels himself off the ropes and slides feet first into the face of the opponent. The move is called Feet of Fury, and it sends the opponent flying backwards onto the ring floor. The result is often a count-out win for Enigma. So whenever an opponent is outside the ring, either by being thrown out or leaving voluntarily, Enigma might use his Feet of Fury move. Roll one die whenever your opponent is outside the ring. If the roll is 5 or 6, then assume Enigma uses his finisher and rolls the opponent pin rating. If pin is unsuccessful, Enigma rolls on level 3 offense, play the game normally, roll out on the ring chart if the roll is 1 through 4. So that was an interesting mechanic. I remember that being introduced. His background just says amazing. Enigma has emerged as the most dramatic aerial fighter in GWF history. Many insiders saw his gradual improvement over the past year, but now with his flamboyant new image, Enigma is ready to step forward as a true GWF star. Enigma will electrify audiences everywhere. His style is very high risk and his agility is amazing. Darkos was right when he spotted Enigma as a hot prospect. Enigma's trademark speed is in contrast to his smaller stature and his lack of upper body strength. His appearances at ringside are more an event than ever before. He wears loud, glittery robes with eye-catching colors on his masks and costumes, and his personality fits the image. Enigma brags that he is the greatest star to come along in years. He feels that Stalker and Wildcat will make fools of themselves trying to keep up with his shotgun offense. Imagine a match between Enigma and Wildcat, both young men putting their bodies on the line with high-risk moves. Little long. Basically, he's bright, flamboyant,
And dramatic.
and dramatic. Yes. I like the character though overall. I mean, he gave the Masked Assassins kind of a legitimate upper mid carder for me.
Does he have his -5 agility on this card yet? Or
He does. He
He
does.
does, yeah. So he actually won my most recent Regal Rumble in 2101, which is kind of a crapshoot. I've got a mix, mostly legends, obviously, of the Champions of the Galaxy, but there's a few random wild cards in there, like Enigma. So he fits in. He got a title shot, then lost, but he makes his presence felt.
Yeah, he's done decently for me. He's never captured a title yet. He was in my NGA and then got bumped up. It was funny because he's the only guy to not win a title but win all the big Like he won all the matches except the big one, but he kept winning. So he got bumped up and he ended up feuding Matador and beat Matador. So he's going to be going for some titles coming up. He's got the points in my Fed to, if you beat the heavyweight champ,
Yeah.
in a feud, but don't win his title because you just can't get that knock, but you keep beating him, then he's just on the cusp, I think, of getting a few things for me.
It's funny you mentioned Matador because that's who he lost in his title match after winning the Regal Rumble. Matador has been my champion since last September, and I'm in like June of the following year. So it's been a good run for Matador.
Yeah,
Nice.
and it's the only guy Matador can't get agility on.
True.
Yeah, -5.
Yep.
Was he the only -5 then?
Yeah, because
I believe
Chaos was
so.
the only -5 power, and and then I think Overkill, when he comes in, he's a -5 power. But at the moment, there's only two -5s.
Let's talk about that finisher. I never considered it a count out. It says in the book he wins by a lot of count outs doing that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I make him throw the guy back in the ring.
Yeah, I kind of
Just
had
does
him.
the finisher and then tosses him in the ring over the pin.
I had him
Mhm.
kind of kick him as he's entering the ring and kind of just drag him after he gave him the big kick.
Yeah,
Right. That makes more sense.
don't need any Nord the Barbarian Berserker finish.
Husk, husk. Very underrated, by the way. Anyway, no, I like this character. I think that it added some legitimacy to the masked assassins that they were missing.
hmm
It at least gave them a threat.
Pretty significant upgrade too.
Yeah. Of course, you got to mention that. I don't have that up right now.
Yeah, because his first card was a +1 finish. Now he's a +3 finish. Can put you down 3 times on level 2 offense.
You got to watch how you're saying that. I saw you confuse Tom with that last time.
Yeah.
He
He's
did.
got 3 downs. He doesn't have 3 downs. I mean, 3 moves that put people down. Oh, okay. That was the Ram discussion.
Tom, put him in his place.
Yeah, I was like, I speak Canadian, so I knew what you meant.
hmm Took us a while to figure it out, but we're there now.
It took us a while. Is that what you're saying? Because of his hat.
Yep.
I'm wearing a toque today. Americans call it what do you call it? A beanie?
I
Yeah.
call it a toboggan. I don't know if that's the right.
You called it toboggan?
Yeah,
Isn't that a sled?
A toboggan is a sled.
it also is a hat.
No, I've never heard anybody call it
You
a
just did. You
toboggan.
can't say you've never heard anybody.
Yeah, but that's wrong.
Is it?
Yes.
We've called it that before.
Google toboggan, and I bet you the first 100
Toboggan
hits
hat
are
is the first thing that comes up.
a toboggan hat.
Yep, TOBOGGAN. Type it in. Try me. We're gonna learn all kinds of things tonight. That's why I big time you guys. I gotta save up for these things.
Toboggan.
Now we're talking
Googling
about toboggans. It's gonna come up toboggan hat. You can question me all you want.
Okay, I got toboggan, tobogganing, toboggan Quebec, toboggan jacket, tobogganing near me, and then tobogganing Canada, tobogganing festival, and then tobogganing hat.
Yeah, it's a toboggan hat.
What?
In fact, Northern Toboggan Company makes winter beanie with logo hats. Northern Toboggan Company. So I'm promoting some company I've never heard of. But anyway, toboggan hats. It comes up. It's a real thing.
I went to Google image search and I had to go like 3 rows deep before a hat comes up. It's all sleds.
Whatever. You guys don't know how to type it right.
Well,
It came up on when I started typing. No, when I started typing toboggan, it came up as the #1 option was toboggan hat. As I got to like the B, maybe the second O. You guys are just downplaying it. Anyway, Enigma was a -1 on the raw ratings originally.
Yeah.
And then this was a huge upgrade because he was a 36.
Yeah, that's huge.
I mean, only under Colossus, Alpha Force, and Thunder from this set.
He even gets upgraded again too.
Spoiler alert.
Yeah. It's a big deal.
Yeah, I got him coming in at 5'10", 205 pounds.
The official listing is 5'10" and a half, 225.
Okay, so I'm close.
Good
And
to
it's funny,
see.
on his back, people injured, 25 people he's hurt. He's never been injured. He's just a violent little man.
You keep track of that?
Yeah.
I don't have a lot of injuries in my Fed. I feel like I don't really incorporate that much. I've done it a few times recently, more so because I've been using that face to the mat guide to give a little more drama to my Fed.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't have a lot of injuries typically.
Yeah, I keep track of injuries. Well, people injured, injuries, suspensions, and fines on my cards.
How much does your guys get paid? Have
Oh,
good
fines
contracts?
well, see, they lose points.
Oh, do you have eyesight and dental?
Yeah, it's
Vision
Canada,
and
so it's all
dental?
free.
Oh yeah, it's I forgot this is 2105 in Canada. At this point, everything's literally free. Even the toboggan hats or the toques.
The toques.
The toques are free. All right.
Brock, did he do anything for you, or was he lost in the
He
shuffle?
was lost in the shuffle all
We
these
all
years.
we always have to ask Brock because it's just gonna be lost in the shuffle. But we always have to ask. 'Cause it's like he forgot that this is a show about character spotlights.
Exactly.
Did you even own a spotlight on your characters? We
No.
might have to change the name of the show to character flashlight or character like laser pointer at this point.
Sparkler. So
I'm disappointed. I didn't know he got an upgrade. I guess I've never gotten to 2109. I've still got that gap there where I haven't played. But yeah, 2109, he gets a big upgrade.
hmm
Yeah, I was
46.
told they're sold out at 2109, so I'm gonna have to find some to buy.
Uh-oh.
What?
I know.
What? How can? Let's not go into that. They
No,
should
I'm not.
never be out of anything, even if it's
No.
just a reprint option
Yeah.
or a PDF option.
hmm
I mean, you want your people to be able to play it every set, even if it's not the original. If there's collectors, they want the original.
Right.
If it's just a player, they don't need the original.
Right. They'll be happy to print and play.
Exactly. That should always be an option. But anyway, that's another tangent.
So
Love you
how would
guys.
you how would you improve the Enigma?
Uh,
I'll drop his pin down to 5 too.
I'm gonna just make it a little more interesting and make it an even odd finisher instead of a 5-6 to work. I think that would give him a little bit of a power creep that makes him
Yeah.
interesting.
There you go.
I might improve his what's his strength? The +1,
Plus
+2,
3.
+3. Maybe drop it to a 0. Bulk him up just a touch, but
He
he
does.
can he can be fast and lean, not too powerful, but a 0 is still lean. It
He,
doesn't have to be spindly weak, but
Spindly weak.
he does have that glaring level 2 move in the first slot on level 3 offense
Ooh,
too.
that's rough. Yeah, you need to get rid of that.
oh, what is it? A power move?
No, it's just a chokehold 2 on
But it goes
number.
Oh,
back down to level 2.
Yeah.
That's
It's
never a
2.
good thing.
He's got good coverage on 2 though. It's 50-50 shot,
yeah.
but still.
Yeah, it could turn that into a death jump. Choice G, choice G it.
It'd do like a good death jump.
Yeah, G's the agility one, so you make it fast.
There are some people out there that don't use choice options, and that drives me crazy. I don't get
Yeah.
it. I feel like that's a huge part of the game to not include.
Well, the rules are like if you don't use that, you aren't supposed to use any of the things in parentheses.
Yeah. And I think that it's okay if you want to keep the move set true. You can say that they did the move that's on
Right.
the card,
That's how I
but
always
use the
report it.
choice option.
Right.
Like I guess I was surprised, and I've had this discussion with other people about the number of people that don't use the choice chart.
hmm
I'm like, that's like a critical part of the game to me.
Yeah, I
That's like there
agree.
are people that don't use the women's rating when it comes to women versus men.
Mm.
They just straight up, oh yeah, Chaos can take on Sweet Thing and lose to her.
I think there's probably more people that don't use the choice rating. I don't
Yeah.
know that many people that use the women. There's never been enough to have
Yeah.
a stable group. I don't think
Yeah.
5 women is a
Division.
division.
Yeah.
Yeah, it doesn't work for me. I think you need a minimum of 8.
I'm saying there are people that don't use that chart. There are people that just don't use rules.
At the end of the day, there is it's up to you, promoter. But if you're watching this, I'm saying you're wrong.
Hey, when I first started playing, almost nobody used the choices.
hmm Or they did it wrong. I remember my first couple Galacticons, there were people that thought you could either do the move on the card or choose from the 2 options on the choice chart as well.
That's how everybody did it back then.
hmm
You guys
Yeah.
were dumb in the 80s.
Yeah.
Not me and Brock. We were
No.
kids.
It's true.
We can shift gears into Monad.
The unified force.
The
Yeah,
unified force.
I will admit I was super disappointed because I lost one of my favorite tag teams with this guy.
Yeah.
That's not why I was disappointed. And I will say that I did like the tag team. I'm more disappointed that he's not more successful.
And when you look at his card, he should be.
He's not really though. I mean, it's deceptively bad. Yeah,
Yeah.
the raw
It's that
rating
high
is
pin.
raw rating is a 21, which puts him right in line with Draconian Sheik on this year.
I guess the C on ropes hurts.
Yep.
Um,
The 9-6 pin.
yeah, if he only had
Yeah,
one down, the 9-6 pin wouldn't be as awful. But
it's
since he
just
has two,
with four arms. I mean, I
you only
guess
have to
I'm
pin two
thinking
of the shoulders.
when I'm seeing four arms, I'm thinking more like, uh Mortal Kombat style. He's the boss,
Goro.
the underboss, he's not the
Right.
boss, but he's second in line. They just did not deliver with him. Do you want to hear about him on his bio here?
Sure.
It's a lot shorter. Monad, the Unified Force. About to say United. Unified Force. Team Entropy, manager Doomsayer, main feud Raven, who he got owned by in my Fed. Monad's two finishers are a direct result of having four arms for leverage. Imagine a clothesline that hits the opponent on the head and chest at the same time. Monad calls it the double clothesline. Creative. Or nobody said he was smart. Or how about a bear hug with four arms? It's a quadruple clamp, and Monad can punch his opponent while he's in it. Background. Did anyone think that we had seen the last of the Transevolver? Monad is proof positive that we haven't. Doomsayer has convinced matter and antimatter to combine themselves into one incredible fighting machine. The result is Monad. Even Doomsayer could not be sure what the outcome of such a dangerous attempt would be. Destructin 3000 has designated Raven as the man who will challenge the awesome power of Monad. Can even a talented athlete with Raven defeat a man with four arms? Monad will have some incredible advantages on offense against his opponents. Doomsayer is outraged, however. The Commissioner Carter has ruled that Monad's entire upper back can be used to win a pinfall. Carter reasons that Monad has four sets of shoulder blades, and therefore can be pinned when any two are on the mat for the count of three. This ruling offsets Monad's forearm offensive advantage, but is it enough?
I
Yeah,
think
but
that's fair.
he's
That's
really not
fair.
that powerful, right?
He's got a
Power.
minus one power.
Yeah, he's a minus 1 power. How do you have a minus 1 power looking like that with four arms? I
It,
just
the
it,
card could be fixed.
it was a letdown. There's my power creep. He should be at least a -3 power, if not a -4.
Yeah, especially with a +4 agility to balance it out.
Yeah, it's just I feel like a lot of hype, not a lot of delivery on that one. For the first of his kind, a
Like,
four-armed competitor.
Yeah.
and I thought he'd be good in a tag team.
Mm.
He's got, he can put a guy down 4 times and he's got a double finisher. You get somebody going on level 1, put them in first, bring him in, for level 2 and 3.
Yeah. And he's got a tag on each level too.
Yep.
That brings up an interesting point, though. So I don't think I play tag as strategically as some of the other people do. I play it more randomly. I feel like there's a lot of people out there that view tag as like a strategic. I'm gonna have this team try to win as best possible, but me, I'd kind of play it as like a random, like who's in the ring.
Yep.
I roll to see who does this and who does that as far as when they tag and stuff like
Hmm.
that. I don't feel like it should be forced. Like this guy's like Massacre and Brute, perfect example. Massacre's always on offense, Brute's always on defense. That's not what I do.
Hmm.
I always just kind of randomly had this guy's in the ring, then we roll to see if he tags. 1, 2, 3, he does. 4, 5, 6, he doesn't, and that's how I always play it.
Yeah, see, since day one, I've broken this game down to its percentages. And I've talked about this. We've talked about this in the show many times. There's a reason I probably won more tournaments than anybody. Like even at the last Galacticon, I won a Legends tournament with Paul Orndorff because I used every little, you know,
Well,
percentage.
you could be the second most successful tournament player ever. We won't talk about the number one most successful
It's
tournament
true. It's true.
Yeah, I've won more tournaments.
player. Okay. We'll go with that.
There's no asterisks.
Yeah. Anyway, no, I was a little let down by this card. I really wanted him to be a powerhouse. and to make a difference, and he just didn't. I mean, he had some fun little feuds, but outside of that, he's undercard fodder for me.
Yeah, the 9-6 pin is rough.
Yeah. Now, he did win the NGA heavyweight title for me. And he didn't hold it long, but he got it. So that's the only thing he's done for me. Because if he does get on a roll, he's really tough to stop.
He can put on some good matches, but he
Oh,
just
yeah.
can't. He can't string together any wins for me.
Yeah.
To get title chances, there's just he's not that good.
It's a thing. If he gets on a roll quickly in a match, he can end it really fast.
Yeah, for
It's
sure.
if he gets caught up. And then, all it takes is one bad roll with that 9-6 pin.
Mm-hmm. Or a finisher, and he's done.
Yeah. If he doesn't have a manager or a tag partner there, it's pretty much over.
Yeah, he really needs manager interference more so than a lot of people.
Yeah.
He needs that. And I had him coming in. If you notice, my cards are now yellow because we switched years. And so I was switching cards every 10 years. And but I got him coming in at 6'9", 330 pounds, since this is still prior to the game releasing stats.
They have him at 6'4.5", 318 pounds.
Yeah, so we're way off. I figure he's going to be taller because he's got two
sets of shoulders.
Yeah,
Longer torso.
That's a disadvantage, though.
Yeah, Carter made sure of that.
I think Carter made the right call. Like, if you're gonna have extra arms, the shoulders should count.
You don't have to pin all four.
Just two. And it didn't say they had to be on opposite sides either.
Ooh, that helps a whole other dynamic.
But what if you have a bad guy like Renard Beguile coming in as commissioner and going, no, now you only need to pin two?
You mean pin four?
Does his pin drop?
You can write that into a story, I think.
I would think so. I think his pin would have to drop.
Yeah.
The frequency in which you get all four down would be less.
Yeah.
That would probably drop to a 3-0 at that point. How do you pin four arms down?
How about leave it at 9-6 and do an even odd roll?
There you go.
Just with those even odds.
Well, I'm not really. Actually, I don't use even odd a lot. I use more 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 with my own personal stuff. Like 1, 2, 3 does, 4, 5, 6 doesn't, that kind of things.
Yeah.
But I do even odd when it says the even odd. That seems to be the more popular effect in the game.
Yeah. So how would you guys upgrade the monad?
We all kind of said some stuff already.
Power creep them.
I guess I'm torn between either his power rating or his pin rating.
I was going to go power rating, so you can go pin rating.
All right, I'll go pin rating then.
And I'll go ropes B.
Okay.
Let's give him all three.
Give him all three, and he's the main event.
See how he goes.
We'll release that card.
I'm thinking of doing what I said. So when Renard Beguile becomes commissioner,
yeah, makes sense.
He's gonna change that ruling. See what happens.
It's your Fed promoter.
Yep. Yeah.
You're only wrong if I sell you are.
And that's if you don't use the choice chart.
That's if you don't use the choice charts. I think that's just ridiculous. I mean, I understand cutting corners in some ways, but that's not one of them.
That takes any strategy out of the game. Yeah. There's not a lot of strategy in the game.
There's not, but at least with that you have options, you know?
Mm-hmm. Like, do you take the bigger risk for the bigger reward, or do you just play it safe and take the level 2 move?
Which I typically play it safe, but if it's a guy that has very little chance to begin with, he might not.
Yeah, that's what I do typically too.
I don't know. What is our Mount Rushmore today? I'm ready to move on because I'm gonna about half the gaming community is gonna be mad at me for saying that, but I just don't understand playing the game and not using the choice chart.
I kind of say like this might piss people off too, but I don't see this as much of a game as I do a simulator. Because I play by myself, so it's not like, I won again.
Well, I'd say about 95% of the people here play this game on their own.
Well,
Right. So
that's what my tag comment was about. Was
yeah,
I don't strategy base it as much as I do. I want both guys. Yeah, there might be one that's more deficient in offense or one proficient in defense, but I want them to both use both side of the cards.
yeah, yeah.
Like it's not just like, oh, I gotta hurry up and like you said, I'll team in with somebody and they come in on level 1 and then immediately they're gonna take Monad for level 2, which I mean, strategically, yeah, that makes sense, but that's not always gonna be the option. What if I picture it as wrestling as, maybe the opponent's teammate came over and distracted or knocked him off the ring post, or we don't have distractor ratings like that. We only have managers and stuff like that. At this time period, nobody's thinking about the teammate coming around and distracting them or anything.
Does Monad have a higher role to tag out on defense since he has 4 arms?
None of them are longer.
He just
He,
sits in a corner.
he still technically has to hold the tag rope, right?
Yeah, I guess so. But he'll have 3 hands and he can reach out there.
I think there's a number of wrestling fans that don't even know the tag rope exists.
They use it in the WWE.
Yeah, they started to because people were noticing, hey, they don't use tag ropes anymore. Oh yeah,
Hmm.
guys, use the ropes.
Yeah,
WWE's made a point to use it lately.
they should. I mean, that was a rule. That made sense. It made
Otherwise, you can just
logical
walk down
sense.
the whole
Yeah,
corner
I
of
could
the
just
ring.
walk down and be like, oh, there he is.
Hey, I'm right
I
here.
got you.
Over here.
Don't worry, I got you.
But just imagine if you had 4 arms.
Yeah, but they're not like you can't like hold hands with this side and get longer. Like
But you have more targets.
you do.
You do.
You have more targets. I'll give you that.
Okay, our Mount Rushmore is brought to you by Jeff
In his dumb NASCAR game.
and
No, it's not. Is that what
your
we're doing?
your 4 favorite board games,
Oh,
non-COTG board games.
4 of them though.
Do they
I
have
don't
to have a
play.
board?
Yeah, I don't play a lot of board games, honestly. Um, but this is my fault because I got one for Christmas, and you guys want me to talk about it, and you're gonna make fun of me.
We
But
could just let you showcase this game.
it's offered by Play Games. That's 2 A's, PLAAY. It is red, white, and blue racing or
Race in.
racing because it's NASCAR, stock car. No, if you watch Grant's solo promoter, he owns the Face to the Mat game, which is made by the same company. I know Dave Little, Dayton Dave, has gone to their convention and said it's a great convention. They have a lot of sports games, but this is one that it's not something you would typically would think about game wise, but it's a very entertaining game. I suggest if you're interested in sports simulations, you check it out. There's a lot of YouTube videos out there. They have their own fictional race league called Scram, which is stock car racing America is the acronym. You can just search Scram on YouTube, and there'll be plenty of different people playing it, and you can get a sense of the feel of the game. I really enjoy it. It has an aspect that before the week happens, you have TV week, and people get interviewed or have crashes and all kinds of things before the races even start for the qualifying round. And then once you get into the race, it's just there's a lot of different qualities you can look for, and it's all based on rolling dice. So
Play is really into the outside of the event drama, which I think is pretty cool.
it is. It adds a lot of the elements to their games. Like I said, I bought Face to the Mat when I saw Grant play, and I don't play that one as much. It is a fun game, but I think that the wrestlers rely more on the books and the charts than they do their actual physical attributes, which is a little disappointing.
Hmm.
Um, but that's specific to that game, and it
Right.
does focus on the drama a lot. Whereas the race car, the NASCAR, there's a lot of stats on the card where I think it goes more by the card. The drama stuff is there. So like I had Mark Martin crash during qualifying, so he didn't make the race, which was huge because he usually makes every race.
Hmm.
You know what I mean? He's an elite driver. Stuff like that happens, and I find that stuff interesting. So I
Are
feel like
these do they use real stock car drivers?
they do the board game itself when you buy it comes with the 2010s NASCAR stars. You can order ones from each decade, and they have like legends, and they have like a 75th anniversary of the top drivers throughout NASCAR history
Like
set.
I could play with Jeff Gordon.
Yep, Jeff Gordon's in this set actually.
Okay,
Um,
that's and I think there's I'm limiting myself on my NASCAR knowledge. I think there's Kyle Busch.
yes, Kyle and Kurt
I saw
Busch.
Kyle Busch in the screenshot Jeff sent us.
Yes, Kyle Busch and Kurt Busch are both there. Actually, my son's favorite driver is Kyle Busch only because he drives the M&M car on there and it's colorful on the card.
That's a good
No,
reason.
but they have other games. They
Oh,
have
Kyle Petty. There's one.
well, he's not in the game, but yeah.
How do
He's
you
not
not have
2000
Kyle Petty?
he's not a 2010 star.
You have to
Oh,
buy him. He's in the expansion set.
Different sets. Anyway, they do have other games from Play Games. They have a football game. They have a baseball game that's really popular. They're extending their basketball game. Originally, it was a highlight hoops game, which is like watching the Sports Center version of it, and they're coming with a History Maker one, which is what they call their like official ones that are more in depth. They have a soccer one that you can play, like the Premier League and stuff. They got all kinds of games. I definitely recommend. From what I've played of theirs, their games have been fun to play. They're if you're a stats junkie, if you're a sports simulation junkie, they definitely a good route to try. And watch the YouTube videos. There's lots of them out there on all their games.
Yeah, I
And
was.
their owner actually hosts a podcast like weekly.
Yeah,
So
I watched a couple of those. Just I was trying to learn more about Faces of the Mat because I think it'd be fun for my streaming fed just to add to like the backstage drama instead of just rolling matches.
it is a lot of fun, and there are a lot of swerves and stuff. What I've found because I've recently combined it with my GWF,
Hmm.
there's not as much when you're not in the game when you're playing Face of the Mat. You'll sometimes draw a wild card, which will happen during the match, which makes something chaotic happen. If you're only using it for interviews and pre-match and post-match stuff, it's a little repetitive.
Okay.
I mean, it's fun and there's a lot of good use to it. There is, but it's different. You're not gonna have that mid-match moment
Yeah,
where
yeah.
I noticed when I watch the wild cards and the more mid-match stuff, there's a lot of more turning on your this face becomes a heel kind of thing,
Uh-huh. Uh-huh.
stuff like that, where you don't see as much of that in the post pre-match that stuff.
Hmm.
Those are more like
Well, that
bragging
shouldn't
or
happen as often anyway.
and it doesn't. I mean, they have things for everything. Going back to the racing game, they have black flag moments, but that's a rare moment. Like it's you have to roll a rare and then another thing and then another thing to make it happen. You know, it's like they happen, but they're very rare. But anyway, so that's one of the board games. Are we really doing Mount Rushmore then?
Let's
Because
do it. Let's
I'm
do
gonna
it.
throw it on there because that's my newest
I,
one.
I've been waiting like that. That's just one.
Yeah. Well, I'm promoting because I think it's a great game and it's what I'm obsessed with right now.
We're not sponsored by Play Games.
We're not, but maybe we can make that happen occasionally. Or check out Grant's solo promoter when he plays Face to the Mat. It is
Link is below to
a
Grant's
good
channel.
a good chance to check it out. Other game we've been playing a lot of lately is Ticket to Ride.
It's a fun one.
Game.
It's a fun game.
Which version?
We have the American version, and we just bought the Asian version. What's got Legendary Asia and Current Asia, Team Asia, I guess is what they call it, which is different. We haven't played that yet. You're supposed to have teams. There's usually only three of us that play. So, let's see, other board games. I don't even know the name of it, but probably the third one I play the most is a horse racing game. It's just got two through 12, and you roll it, and then like you have to get three twos, three 12s, or you can get like 15 sevens when you roll two dice, and it's an odds game where you can have horse races and stuff.
That's cool.
We put a little money on it. I have a spreadsheet that we do like a quarter, 50 cents, dollar kind of thing. But anyway, it's a fun game. We play that a lot. Fourth game, probably most frequently played in recent history, probably the Mario Kart Monopoly.
Nice.
Just because the most you're gonna do is 8 trips around the board.
Mm,
Because there's one lap around the board is one of the races. There's 8 races. Had a lot of fun with that, having all the figures, and the figures do have special mechanics they come with, like if you get Toad or if you get Yoshi, or they have like a special thing they can do.
that's cool.
So I think that those are probably the top four of what I've played the most in the last, let's say, 5 to 10 years.
Cool.
Non COTG.
Right.
And you got your honorable mention.
Honorable mention. I feel like I'm forgetting some because we've played a lot of board games over the years. Like I know I've played a lot of Cranium in the past. Trivial Pursuit, obviously. Uh, I don't know an honorable mention. That's all we've been playing recently. You only have so much hours in the day and so many hobbies.
What about you, Brock?
I like the pick up and play party game type stuff. One of my favorites is it's called Soro, Tsuro.
Oh, I've heard of that.
It's the game of the path. What you get tiles and you have to push the other player. You have to you put the cards down, and the players have to follow the path. And the idea is to push your opponents off the map.
Yep.
So you put a card down, and then everybody, no matter where it is, has to follow the path that you put. Like if you say you're on the same tile as somebody else, you can just make your opponent run right off the map. That's the idea. And it's different every time. There's like so many million different combinations you can get on the board. It's pretty fun. They've done some expansions. I've never played any of them because I haven't really felt the need to really expand on it. But that's a really fun one. I like code names. I don't know if you guys have played that.
That's a fun one.
You have to get people to say a word by saying another word. Choose one of the cards based on the word.
Toque,
Like
toboggan.
toque. Yeah, like if we said toboggan, we'd definitely click on the toque.
We would be
Oh,
there.
yeah.
We
Beanie.
Beanie too. Then you
Yep.
pick toque and
Sorry, go ahead.
toboggan. Code names
Board
is
games.
fun. One that I really like, it's more of a card game. It's called Lunacy, where there's two images on the card, and you have to match one of the images, and it's everybody plays at once. Like there's no turns. Like if you have a card that matches, you just throw it down. But we house rolled it where you had to yell out the images that you were playing, which made it fun because everybody had a different way of describing each of the pictures, which
Perfect for our conversation.
exactly. And what's cool about Lunacy is you can create your own cards. So there's an NDW deck of Lunacy. I actually thought I had it nearby, but I can't find it. And it's actually cheap to get the custom cards made. It's like $25 or something like that for a whole deck of cards. You submit 24 images or something like that. That one's really fun. For a fourth one, I'll go with Munchkin. It's a good party game.
Yeah, I played that, the card game.
It could get really cutthroat.
Oh, yeah.
A lot of fights are started over Munchkin.
I've never played Munchkin, but I think they have a set in what's the game I was playing there for a while?
There's a bunch of different sets, and you can intermingle the cards. And
Yeah.
Yeah, but there was a game I was playing that had a Munchkin set in it. Like it was
Flux?
No, it was like one where you could combine these random teams.
Mashup.
Mashup, yeah, that's what it
Mashup.
was.
That's my
Mashup
honorable
is what it
mention,
was.
actually.
I like Mashup, and it had a specific Munchkin set.
There's 8 new factions. Yeah, that was fun. Smash Up's a fun game. I'll put that as my honorable mention. Because that's another one, like, depending on who you play with, it could be different every time. They're still making new factions, too.
Yeah, and they just, I think like a year or two ago, they came out with the Luchador faction.
Yeah.
Yeah, so there's all kinds of them, though. I mean, like I had sets, I let each one of my kids pick like different themes. And like, I picked like luchadors and something else, and like one of them was kitty cats and princesses, and one was robots and cowboys or something.
Yeah, it can get ridiculous.
Yeah, Sharknado is a set in there. They have sharks with freaking lasers on their heads. A lot of the cards are good puns too for like movies and TV shows, which dad jokes and stuff sucker for.
And now they just have straight up licensed stuff. There's a Marvel set.
They
There's
did get a
Disney
Marvel.
set.
Yeah. So anyway.
Yeah, it's
Smash. I was trying to think of the name of it, so thank you, Broc.
No problem.
For me, my number one game would be X-Wing. I play that weekly. I play that more than I do Champions, probably. I have a group. We meet up every week and play at a store. Next would probably be Magic. As most people know, Magic the Gathering. Jeff looks confused.
Well, I don't think that's a board game to me. That's a TCG. It's a trading card game. It's a little different. I played Magic too. I sold all my cards in about 2000 and want to kill myself for that. But I had some pretty sweet decks back in the late 90s too.
Okay, I was just saying because Champions of the Galaxy isn't really a board game, but
it's a tabletop game with the dice included, I think, and the charts.
It counts.
Yeah. It has boards, so they're called charts.
I won't include Magic then.
No, it's fine.
No,
it's fine.
It's still a tabletop game.
I wasn't thinking in that direction because I play a lot of cards I have over the years, but I think of them as card games, not board games or tabletop games.
Next would probably be Catan, Settlers of Catan.
Heard of
I
it,
do,
never played it.
I do like that game, the 4 and 6 player version. Uh, and then Pandemic.
That's a good one.
Like playing the 4 player cooperative where you actually have to work with people. I found that it's fun. And then my last one, my honorable mention would be Axis and Allies.
Okay.
I love I used to get together with some buddies about 3 times a year and we'd play the global version. So, your board is like, 4 feet by 6 feet. That's your board. And a game would take us 8 to 12 hours.
I just appreciate you put it in feet and not kilometers, but
I could have went with centimeters, but
I wanted to keep it American.
yeah, I know my audience here. I know the room.
I will say I'm shocked though. Now, when we said we're going to do top 4 board games, Mount Rushmore, there's not a lot of the standard ones. I didn't hear
No.
a lot of Monopolies or Sorries or Troubles or
No, not because
Operation.
I'm not 8.
Well, no, I mean, but when people think board games, and I think that just shows
Yeah.
who we are as a community and our
Yeah.
skill sets as far as playing those types of games. Like
Oh yeah, like Broc and
we've
myself played
evolved.
HeroClix for years.
Yeah.
Yeah, we don't just play like your typical. We don't say board game night and think, oh, let's go play Monopoly. Like that's
Yeah.
not gonna
Right.
happen.
Hmm.
I did say Mario Kart Monopoly, but that's a completely different version of Mario Monopoly, and I had fun with the kids with that one. That was something I got to play a lot more because they were interested too.
Yeah, like for years, if you needed to, I can take up Substitute Magic and put in HeroClix. I used to
Yeah.
play HeroClix a lot. Brock and myself used to get together and play HeroClix at Galacticon.
It's true.
Anytime we
Yeah,
could play each other.
that always intrigued me, but I never got to play it. It seemed like a fun game.
It's still out there. It's still moving, but
I
Yeah.
know.
It's not
they
what it
flooded and
was.
killed the market. But
It's just evolved,
yeah,
like every game does.
Hmm. Talk about power creep.
oh yeah,
But you guys kind of touched on that with Tom too, when you guys talked about, Galactus and then Thanos and then,
Hmm.
other like super villains. Like, at what point do you stop?
Right.
Like, we've gone strong enough. And I kind of felt that way too when I watched the Marvel movies. It's
Hmm.
like, okay, what's bigger than this? How can you go bigger?
And I think that's why they haven't been as good or as popular since we've done Endgame.
Yeah, once you get to this point, like, where are you gonna go?
Hmm.
Like, I don't really care for Captain Marvel.
Yeah.
Like, no, you're too strong. Stop it.
Yeah. And it was forced.
Yeah,
A forced strength.
you Roman Reigns us.
but you guys, I would say, because we did just have Christmas.
We did.
My wife spoiled me and got me some new Lego.
Ooh,
No, I don't do Legos.
that's nice. At the UCS.
Yep.
There it is, Ultimate Collector
The
Series.
only Legos that were given away at my Christmas were for the kids, and it was a Frozen set.
Which one?
I don't. It was a little like book
Okay,
that you
I think
built a story inside of it, and
yeah,
it
Hope
it
has that.
super annoyed me because Olaf had no permanent spot. Like everything else had like a permanent spot with the Lego dots, so you can push it down, and Olaf's just floating.
Well,
And that's how they showed it in the guide. I'm
yeah,
like,
he doesn't go
all
anywhere.
right,
We threw him in the set hoping more people would buy it.
yeah. So
It's funny
anyway,
because my wife has gotten into Lego because they've sent her some because she orders a bunch online, so they'll send her the Christmas stuff at Christmas time all the time. The little
Yeah,
wee. So she's like, "These are fun. Can
the
you find me?"
GWPs.
Legos have to be one of my least favorite toys all time. They get lost. I build them once, then I'm like, okay, it's done, and then it gets destroyed, and I don't ever want to search for it. And
That's just because you're irresponsible.
I absolutely, when it comes to Legos, I am. I just can't stand it. Like if I was building a whole community and it was never going to be touched, okay. Otherwise,
That's my dream. I
Yeah,
didn't have a Lego room.
that's Brock's
now,
dream
now you're
in the
stepping on them
attic.
at the bottom of the stairs, though. So I don't want to
Yeah,
hear
and Mike didn't even hear that story yet.
it. Maybe another time. I shouldn't stream that one.
That's all right. It's all good.
All right, we got another. Let's go here. Let's give shout out to the sponsors and the other
Our sponsors.
yeah, the
Our,
other
our friends who make
gaming
Filsinger Games related
community.
content.
They don't pay you, they should.
They should. Because
Nothing comes for free.
I mean, these 20 viewers we get a week. I mean, they should be
Pumping those
lining up.
numbers.
While you're here, check out the links below to the Filsinger Games podcast, the official podcast, Roll Up, the fan cast from Grant, Uncharted Territory from the Legends team, Dizzy Dice from Lee Longpre. Here on YouTube, we have Grant's solo promoter, Dave Little's Heartland Championship Wrestling, after further review, who does a lot of the play games that Jeff was talking about. And then we have Brad Plays 81, and then Bucky 749, our newest friend we've made here. I'm on Twitch. I'll probably be doing NDW soon. I got a lot of catching up to do. I got my PC back, so that's exciting news. I got my PC back, then my kids got sick, and then I got sick. So that's been fun and exciting. So hopefully back to normal here soon. Yeah, I think that's all of our stuff. There's a link to the Filsinger Games website below as well. So check that out.
Uh-oh, here we go. Coffee fit
I
right
almost
at
made
the
it
end.
through I almost made it the whole way. I only
I
muted
had
a
a bet.
couple times.
If you had Broc coffee on your bingo card, you just officially won.
I was good at muting myself, but I had to get all that spiel in.
And I would like to say we're up to 140 subscribers.
Whoa!
We got a couple more this week.
Wait,
then.
we have to decide the number for the goal of 2024 here.
Oh yeah, we shattered 2023.
Yeah.
Shattered
it.
I think
we wanted to get to what 123.
Yes, for 2023.
I think you gotta, if you're at 140, you need to get 24 more for the year. I'm saying 164.
All right, that's probably doable.
Don't doubt yourselves. It's not my goal. I'm just a guest.
Nope, that's you set the goal. So if you haven't yet done so, please click that subscribe button. Help us get to our goal of 164 subscribers.
Made up right now.
It's doable. It's doable.
It's not like we're reaching for the stars.
No, we're very realistic in our.
We're reaching to touch the ceiling.
Yeah. With a step stool. All right. Well, you know what to do. Hit the button. We'll be back next week for more fun and games. Play games.
Yeah.
Red, white, blue, racing.
We're going racing.
Woo! All right, everybody. Thanks. We'll see you next time.
Yeah.
See you later.
Later.